The most important day in our lives, I believe, at least in my case, has been the decision day. The decision to not be the same, the decision to change, the decision to not feel miserable or broken, the decision to find out why, and the decision to act. That is the most important day in one's life. What do you think about that? Share your view on this. Decision day. And when I say decision day, what I mean really is a decision on a specific actionable process. Not just you decide, you wish, and all of that stuff. That's not what I mean by that. I mean genuinely you decide that I am not going to feel miserable anymore. So in my case, for example, in one of the earlier times when I got sick, the decision was, after it took me about 6 months, solid 6 months after I got sick and I realized that I couldn't continue with what I was planning in terms of career-wise, that I had to let go. And that decision was the best decision I've ever made, because that meant freedom. Was it easy? No. It was not easy. It was terrible. It was hard. I was resisting it, and that suffering and the magnitude of suffering came from resisting it. And honestly, I resisted it for solid 6 to 8 months. I was struggling with my health, and I was still connected to my job, either through email or through phone calls or through whatever it was, being part of meetings here and there. And I remember my doctor, my specialist, said, you need to give back your, at the time I had BlackBerry, you have to give back your BlackBerry cell phone. And it was a moment of truth. She basically said, either you do that or you are not going to get well. And the fact that I really wanted to be well for me, for my family, for my kids, that was the why, because I needed to find a why. And I found it, but it was hard. I was resisting it. I'm like, no, I'm going to get better. But it never came. So the idea was that, and I like the fact that my doctor basically said, okay, you take time off for you. Once you're well, then you can go back and continue what you were planning to do. But until then, you need to stop. And I stopped, and the moment I stopped, I realized that a lot of my actual stress that created my illness, which was autoimmune disease, was through the job that I had. And it was school administration. And there are some people that they're built for that, and I was not one of them. And I love the teaching piece, but not the administration piece. And that was the decision day that I made that commitment to change. And once I did that, I stopped, I gave back. It was an actionable process. I executed on that decision. It was a decision day. I drove back, and when I got back, I immediately went to the school board, gave back my cell phone, and I said, no calls, no emails. I'm on leave right now until I get better, which interestingly, I never did get better, but to a point where I could go back to teaching. That decision day, it's so impactful, where I tell myself that that is it, no more. And this played out again when I went through divorce and separation. The first 3 months was hell. And I remember that was November 7th, 2019, where that morning where I had, again, one of those worst nights, because I couldn't sleep properly for 3 months. Um, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and being miserable and feeling this um, energy that kept me on my knees. And I said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. This is not who I am. And we're gonna find out why I'm like this and what has happened. And I'm gonna make sure that this feeling that I have will have some value. That means that I want to make it that is worthwhile. That's what I'm feeling. And the interesting thing was that the moment I did that, I started listening to my counselor, and of course picked up a few other resources to start. Meditation was one of them, and then started doing very deep dive, in-depth psychology and understanding what made me who I am up until that moment of the 49 years of age, and what were the forces played out and influenced my life, and that ended up in that specific place. And that was the interesting thing, because that decision day again was this anchor, and I couldn't undecide anymore. I have decided, and that's the beauty of it. Where once you decide and genuinely decide, you decide on a plan, actionable plan, you decide that the change must happen, you decide that it is important for your life, you do what it takes to make that change, because you make that decision. So it's so important, and I can tell you, for what I have seen around and being alongside others for the last, at least my adult life, 40 plus years. Let's suppose that teens don't count, teen years. I can tell you that there are so many of us, we are not happy, we are miserable in whatever circumstances that we find ourselves in. And what I mean by that is that it's not that when we started we felt miserable. No, it felt pretty good maybe at first, right? But maybe the flame has burnt out. Maybe there is none. Maybe you have changed. Maybe the other person has changed. Maybe the job that you used to love, you don't love that anymore. And it's nagging feeling inside you that is giving you this idea that this is not right, and you have to make the change. And it's the internal dialogue that you have with yourself that you keep avoiding, and then one day you have to face it. And I think that the sooner you face it, the better it is. But it comes down to the decision day, the day that you make that decision. And again, I can continue with this. If you're having a passion project and you have put it off, and you put it off, and you put it off, decision day, right? You need to make that decision. Either don't think about it anymore. That means that was not your passion project. That was not really, because if you are not that passionate about that project, you would have done it by now. Or that the life circumstances has forced you to focus on other less important things than your passion project, and it's time for you to decide. It's decision day. You make the decision to change that, and you make it work in whatever way that you decide, but you make it work because it's your decision, and that's the decision that makes you content and happy, and within you that you can see yourself and say, hey, I have done something for me. Decision day for better, right? Decision day that you are going to eat better. Decision day that you are going to go to counseling. Decision day that This relationship that you are in is a toxic relationship, and you need to make a decision to leave or to change it or to do whatever that has to happen first to figure out what is the next step. But never ever let it be. Don't sweep it under the rug, because at one point that rug is going to get pulled underneath of your feet and all the dirt is going to show. So don't do that. All right. Decision day, decision day. Share your thoughts and comments below. Love to hear your view on this decision day. What is the most important day in your life, you think? What is the most important thing? You think it is decision day? You know what? Let's have that debate. And I'm okay with that. But for me and for what I have learned, decision day is the most important day. And you make that decision, you have the plan, and you execute. Remember, if you don't execute on that decision, it's just a wish. And wishes don't come true without execution. So I don't believe in you wish something and it's going to come true kind of a thing. You need to make a plan and decide for an actionable process and get it done. One step forward, 1 centimeter, 1 inch forward, right? And I think it was Martin Luther King at one point said, if you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can walk, you crawl. Whatever you do, you move forward. That is the key. All right, until next time, my friends.